Hi, little discussion video on Amadis of Gaul. Um, I am not a great reader of text, but I am finding Robert Southey's translation of Amadis of Gaul a challenge to read, which is not a bad thing. It's definitely going to exercise my muscles and try and get me to work harder at focusing on the text and reading the text as it is, because I'm going to assume with someone who's like a poet like Robert Southey that what he's writing is probably quite proper English for its time in the 1800s. It is very twisty and turny, and the syntax seems weird to somebody reading it in 2021. So that is a challenge. That is a challenge. So far, we're getting all pre-story. We've got Amadis of Gaul, very Moses-like, getting pushed into the waters by his mother because she's gotten pregnant and given birth without having first gotten married first, so she's pushed off the child. Her second child, she does actually marry the king and denies that, like, that the first child ever happened because of her shame. But the second child has now gotten kidnapped, and it's gotten kidnapped at the behest of this strange maiden, Urganda, who's told him that, like, you need to go get this kid, have him raised as a knight, because he's the one who's actually going to defeat the guy who killed the giant that killed your father, this giant's father. And so, yes, he's gone off to do that, grab the child, and he's apparently set up a bunch of Christians on an island, and they give him alms for his support. I don't know if that means he's kidnapped and carried them to the island or whatever, but then he's brought this kid there and said, okay, raise this child. Meanwhile, the child of the sea was found on the water by this fellow, but the king and queen of Scotland, I believe it is, noticed him. The queen's particularly taken by this beautiful youth, and they've taken him to raise them as a son, and actually for his trouble, also the guy's actual born son, Gandalin, his actual native born son, because they're such inseparable companions. So yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. It's the slow start. We're getting the origin story basically as it is, and we'll go from there. All right, I will. But yes, it's definitely going to be the challenge of reading this out loud. There's sometimes I have ones like, I read it out loud, it's like, I'm doing an okay job. This maybe other people would want to listen to it. This is one boy. If anyone stumbles upon me reading this, I apologize, and also they're probably getting they're getting me at my most stumbly mouth and kind of repeating and having to figure it out. I do think it's the way I would actually get my way through this text. I have a feeling if I was just reading this to myself, I would have trouble. I would have trouble getting through it. But this good rhythm of just reading a little bit every day, I find, is a good way to get my way through texts that I might not necessarily have the motivation to get through otherwise. So yeah, that's where I am today on Amadis of Gaul. Discussion video number 1. Nothing too completely screwed up has happened so far. So far it's like, okay, we're not in Trnsltn, murdering Moors for no reason, or sexual assault or anything yet. I guess we'll see how it goes. All right, more videos later.